yet tomorrow, has any significant racial issue been solved? No. And vice versa. So for me, this fight is interesting.
Because I feel like, yeah, I mean that's. I think we all agree on it. I think so. I hope it should instead. So let's just move on from that. To be honest, because
hello, it's your boy Artman Boxing, and I'm back with another boxing conversation. Sorry for the delay, man. That shit was fucking up. But we got the Twitter space back moving. Looks like I got the sound working as well. Let's listen in.
You said, hey, I don't want to talk about any glove or any. You called it some type of scandal with boxing, and I was making a point about the fight. And the last thing I was going to say was basically, hey, I just hate the fact that anytime Black Americans have an issue or we see something that white Europeans in boxing don't agree with, they just shut it out. And they say, we're not going to talk about it, we're not going to discuss it. And see, when you do things like that, you don't understand. That's what we deal with every day here in America, whether it's boxing, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whether it's any sport. We deal with shut the hell up. We don't want to talk about it. You're interrupting my sport. And that's when George Floyd died. That's the only time in America where they said, hey, guys, we're going to actually listen to you and actually understand where you're coming from. So when you kick me out the group because I was just saying, hey, don't be that person to just shut people down because it's something that's important to them. The fact that I saw those gloves look a different way, that's important to me. It might not be important to you, but it's important to me. And I should be allowed to say that without you getting offended and kicking me out the group. And if you say it was nothing wrong with the gloves, guess what, Turning Point? I'm still going to follow you. I'm still going to support you. I'm still going to be your jump in your groups on Twitter. I'm not going to look at you anyway because of your ideas or your thoughts. I just wish you wouldn't have kicked me out the group that day because I was making a point about boxing. 90% of my statement was about boxing, and I said that 10% about the glove, and you just kicked me out the group.
You know, Peter, PRB, sorry, PVR, it's fair, totally fair. You know what? If you felt that I was kicking you out because of that point, it wasn't. And I agree with you. Look, I'll take the hit on that. Look, I host these groups usually when I'm about 8 or 9 drinks deep. And that's not an excuse. But no, it's fair point.
Okay.
I will say this, hand on my heart, I'm not trying to kick you out because you're making a point that I don't agree with. I sit with people who I don't agree with, I get it. And the point wasn't that, you made an argument that I think was wrong. But yeah, fair, right? Look, I'll take that on the chin. I'll reflect on it, and that's it.
Okay, guys.
Hey, Turning Point, I got a question for you, bro.
Go ahead.
You said, if I'm not mistaken, that this fight, you don't want it to be about racism, right? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Guess what, brother? This fight all about racism. First of all, you're not in America.
You're not gonna come in my dog Art Man's chat and get a clout chase and sit here and try to dictate the terms of this fight. Welcome to America, bro. Everything is about racism. Let me school you.
Go ahead.
Second thing, boxing been about racism from the very start. You study Jack Johnson. They made a whole separate heavyweight title for black men. Fast forward a couple decades, Ali, all about race. Let's fast forward again. Floyd Mayweather, all about race. Fast forward again. Deontay Wilder, all about race. Now you have the audacity to be in a room with a bunch of black men and try to tell us that this ain't about race. If it wasn't about race, why, if you really care about boxing, did you never take a serious look at Fury's gloves? Why, if it was not about race, did you never, ever seriously take the arbitration thing into consideration? Like you and the rest of your
Why you ain't take Art Man seriously?
Yeah,
That's a totally fair
Hey,
point.
turning point. Listen, I understand.
I'm listening.
Listen hard, because this is our wave right now. Over in Ireland or wherever you're from, and I'm not trying to disrespect you, but there's probably not a lot of minorities, and you're accustomed to things going a certain way. In America, it don't work like that. And guess what? He's schooling you right now, so pay attention, bro. If we're telling you it's about race, we're not saying it because it's cute. This shit about race. They tried to kill Deontay in there, and if you was really about boxing like you claim you are, you would take a look at them gloves. Not only that, you would check all these media people who spent the whole fucking pandemic saying there's not going to be no Wilder Fury fight.
I have a question.
Wilder got to take a back seat and fight.
That's totally fair. Look, Lex,
And by the way, real quick, I'm sorry to cut you off. The way you did that boy PVR Sports, you did me like that too, because I talk about the gloves. I'm not scared of that shit.
Yeah. Look. I have a question. I will. Well, just wait. Lex, I will honestly. If you're making your point directly to me, finish your point. I'm not going to stop you. Do you want to make anything else, and then I'll respond.
Yeah, the last thing I'm going to say is boxing is the most racial sport in America. Every element of it is racist because there's no safeguards. This sport has never been about the best fighting the best. Certain people who are in power want certain fighters to get certain looks. To sit there and pretend that's not true, you're either racist or dumb. And you can pick. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. They did it with Floyd. They did it with Ali. They did it with Jack Johnson. They did it with Joe Louis. They've done it time and time again. They did it with Triple G and Canelo. It's not even about black and white. It could be about Mexican and white. It could be about Filipino and white. Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev. It doesn't stop with just Wilder, bro. So if you're really about boxing like you claim you are, open your eyes. Otherwise, we gonna have to take you a certain way.
Exactly. And you know, hold on. Hold on. Before we go into that, let me get my piece off too as well. I honestly, like the brother said, I honestly believe that fans look at this sport, but they don't truly understand this sport. I feel like they look at it when I say like bubblegum, popcorn, you got your cotton candy in your ears. I feel like people are really soft where they feel like everything is just good and there can never be no wrong and we got to look at it this way. Nah, you got to look at the good, the bad, the ugly, man. This sport is really racist, man. You got to get the damn cotton candy out your ears. When somebody's telling you some real shit about what's going on, listen, don't just shun it out and say, oh, wait, that's not true. Because we can back it up with truths, shit that happened with history, stuff that happened in boxing. So go ahead.
Another little known fact that people don't know about is that the movie King Kong was actually about Jack Johnson too.
Yep, sure was.
Can I
Sure was.
respond to Lex and Artman?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
After you respond, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, of course. Look, I would never. And this is a thing I've reiterated multiple times in every space that I've been in, and every time I've been able to physically talk to people. I would never deny that racism is a significant, important, and culturally relevant factor, not only just in sport, but in society, in class division, and when it comes to the basic parameters for people living. And my interest, and I'm Irish, so I'll put that out there. I've worked hard and I've worked consistently with Palestinians in terms of their self-determination against Israeli occupation, right? So, that might not be for what we're talking about right now, and I totally understand that, but it puts me in a perspective of, I get the terminology when it comes to what Lex was saying. So when the conversation comes out and says, you can't turn around and say that race isn't a relevant factor in this conversation, I agree with you. I have no problem agreeing with you that this Wilder Fury fight has a racial element, and potentially a legitimate racial element. My perspective of this is, I'm white. I don't necessarily understand, and I'll never understand what it means to be a Black American struggling through an environment that's fundamentally racist. I get that, 150%. The American dream has always been positioned on the back of Black, quote-unquote, Americans working for their profit. And I know Lefty's not here right now, but I'm a massive fan of unionization, of worker solidarity, and worker communication. Mm-hmm. And boxing actually takes a backseat to that, Lex. I'm genuinely serious. Boxing takes a backseat to my genuine drive to put solidarity first. So if your argument is that my position has been skewed as racist, or has been skewed as I don't think Wilder will win because I have a racial element to my conscious decision, I'll listen to it. And I do listen to it. And I take it very seriously. I really, really do. Because outside of Twitter, I work pretty hard when it comes to homeless, minority dispositions, and that kind of thing.
Man, but we ain't trying to hear that shit, man. Hold on. Fuck all that, because actions speak loud. Actions speak louder than words. You can say Palestinian and all that, nigga. I ain't Palestinian. I'm Black. You've been talking, bro. You've been talking hella greasy about Black folks, man, and we've been seeing it.
You're muting my response.
Yeah, Art, let him finish. Art, let him finish so he can. You know what I mean? I don't want to run him out or nothing.
I ain't trying to, man. If you want to run out, then run out. Because, man, I just hear bullshit, dude. Because you can say all that, but your actions show different.
Art, I feel what you're saying because I'm about to talk to him too.
Go ahead.
You gotta let him get it on this too. I'm gonna talk to him.
Man, I just know, man. When it comes to certain characters, they'll tell you, "Oh man, I'm nice in the community. I do this and do that." But go around and their actions so completely different. I don't have to wait. I don't have.
That's a part of what made him Art. Just like we feel a certain way because of things we've gone through in America. I don't feel like we're hearing him out, man. I feel like
PDR. Look, Pete. Right?
He heard all our shit. He took all our shit hard. He went at him hard. He took it. You have to.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, that's how they get you in that fucking mind game where you just listen and hear that bullshit that they're saying. Oh yeah, maybe he's a trustworthy person. Fuck all that. I seen too much of his actions for me to say that, dude. So go ahead.
Art, let's simplify this, right?
Go ahead.
Turning point. I have a question, right? And I'm not trying to dispute any of the work that you've done with Palestinians, because I'm sure that's all real. But at the end of the day, everyone in this room right here is trying to talk about boxing. Again, I'm not trying to check your character because I'm sure you've done a lot of amazing things outside of boxing Twitter. Shout to you for all that you've done. But we're talking boxing, right? So our question, me and Art, because I know we have the same question, is if you truly do feel that way, and because it's not about you picking Fury, because we cool with that. If you want to pick Fury, pick Fury. But a lot of what's happened, you gonna represent the UK and the Irish folk right now. A lot of your folk from your side of the world, they completely disregarded Deontay Wilder. They tried to, first of all, no one took, I'm gonna ask you right now, have you even looked at the gloves ever? I don't know if you ever looked at the gloves. I don't know if you ever took Wilder's arbitration seriously. I would imagine you might have been one of the people saying,
bro, and that's what I'm talking about. I seen this shit. I seen it.
That's totally fair. And you know what? I'll put it this way, right? And you guys can go back and look it up.
Go ahead.
Ring IQ and Artman
had
a little bet. little bit about the arbitration, right? And Artman, you know the arbitration.
I know that I did the interview and I see you in the comment section talking crazy about Artman, all that shit. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I seen your actions, dude. They may not know you. I know you.
Relax. I don't have a YouTube account.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't have a YouTube account.
You're right.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Artman. My actual comment was to Ring IQ. Nobody knows how the arbitration is going to go. The idea that AJ v. Fury is not fully satisfying. I actually agreed with you. I said nobody knows. Now, obviously, you agreed that the Fury Wilder trilogy was going to happen. My exact point was nobody knows, and I sat there and I said that, and it's in fucking. You can check my tweets right now. My exact words were, I don't think that you can say conclusively that the AJ Fury fight is going to happen. And you know why I said that? Okay. You know why? Just one quick thing. You know why I said that? Because I care about boxing. It wasn't I didn't want to shit on either fighter. So don't put
y'all can believe that shit if y'all want.
Well, look. People can check that, and we can.
No, if it's out there, it's checkable. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
We might as well just
Look, this nigga is lying.
Right?
This
so
nigga is lying, bro.
Be a bunch of Black Americans.
I know who he is. He was there during the whole Artman was right days, dude. When before the arbitration, he was saying all this, saying the fight's not gonna happen, all that. But now he's on here copping pleas, dude. They may not remember, but I remember.
All the IFL TV, all the boxing social, Rob Tapebutter, however you say his name, all these people sitting there day after day after day for a year and a half through the whole pandemic. Fury Joshua. Wilder has to fight Charles Martin. Wilder did not get cheated. Wilder's depressed. Wilder this, Wilder that. Again, you in here, so you're going to get grilled, and I'm not trying to take all this out on you, but ultimately, like, if you care about boxing and the people around you and the people you do these chats with and the people you're down with care about boxing, y'all should speak against that. It's
exactly, but the action showed otherwise.
That's exactly what it did. That's
flogging a dead horse, man. Turning point. Listen, you guys are clearly just flogging a dead horse, man. You're flogging a dead horse. Some people, some things, you'll never get through to some people. Do you mean? Some things are just they're not to be understood. Do you know what I'm saying? Being a black man, it's hard for you to be understood. Do you know what I mean? So you can, all you lot can explain all you want all night. Do you know what I'm saying? It's 12 o'clock right now in England. You can explain all you want all night about the racism and things like that. I get what you're saying, but some things will never, like, boxing.
Exactly. You know, a boxing. Okay, go ahead.
Listen, boxing bender, it's really not that complicated though. We're not asking for special treatment. All we asking for is to treat me like you treat the next dude. Like, you know what? One of my favorite fighters out of the UK is Carl Froch because he didn't talk a lot. He just came and kicked ass. It was never a whole bunch of bozo shit. Or guess what? I like Leo Santa Cruz. I like David Benavidez. I like Teofimo Lopez before he started bugging after he beat Lomachenko. I like Usyk. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not asking for nothing unique. All you have to do is, like, we're not asking for you to understand what it's like to be black and paint your skin black and gloss. That's crazy. All you have to do is treat us regular. Yo, we had to deal with a whole year and a half, bro, of lies. You know how crazy that is? Like, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm happy I'm not even going to the Fury Wilder fight because I will fuck around and beat someone's ass out there. And I'm like, that's probably, I shouldn't even be saying that, but ultimately, it's true. And guess who did all that? The whole UK, the whole Irish, because none of y'all was out here repping, just keeping it real. It's not even about race or nothing. Just keep it real for the sake of boxing. Y'all know Wilder got chirped. Whether it's the cheating or the arbitration, he had to fight through all that bullshit. So, listen, I understand what you're saying, but I'm not asking for you to understand blackness. Just understand fairness. It's very simple. That leads to
very simple.
I understand what you're saying. Listen, I agree with you, by the way. Yeah.
Let my bro speak real quick.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Hold on.
It's difficult for some people.
Go ahead, Berserko, because I know you've been waiting for a minute.
Because you and Lex have been on this whole arbitration and Wilder getting cheated thing, and my question is to the guys who are in the UK who are Fury fans: did you guys even look into the evidence of Fury cheating, or are you guys just saying no, Fury hasn't cheated at all without even knowing that the proof is out there for the public to see? Have you guys even took the time out to look into the evidence of Fury cheating?
I had a look. I mean, there's no surprise there because I'm black. I mean, I had a look. I think the gloves are a bit dodgy. I saw some. I don't know why his fist was popping out of the side for some reason. It was weird, but for the majority of people in the UK, do you know what I'm saying? I'm a minority, so like the majority of the UK is white. Do you know what I mean? And if they're not white, they're black, but they've been whitewashed. So it's difficult. I mean, it's hard to explain yourself. So you guys can be as passionate as you want explaining these things to certain people, but it's hard to understand when things are subtle. I mean, racism is institutionalized. It's something that we live in. We're born in it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's hard when everything we see is triggered.
What's good, man? We just talking on this Twitter space. We got people from all over the world talking boxing. Yeah, man. But you know, my thing is, my brothers, they might be a little easy on y'all, but you see me, man, I don't give a fuck because I see that shit that y'all post, dude, from the actions and all, dude. Nobody's that ignorant to where they can see all this shit going on Wilder and think everything is on the up and up. The man literally got what he was rightfully owed in court, and the first thing boxing media does is says it's a dark day in boxing. And you guys want to say, oh, it's some fairness going on? Hell no, ain't no fucking fairness going on. Y'all know that shit. Y'all know that shit. So that's why I don't be having like, bro, I be like, man, fuck all that shit. Yeah, you know.
Like, you gotta look at it. So I jumped in whenever we were talking about Barry and Eddie, right?
Yeah.
So the thing about Barry and Eddie, first of all, I was highly disappointed in Dillian White, right? But Dillian White is a fucking yachty, man. Jamaicans ain't supposed to be taking this.
Said salute art, man. Sorry, I've been gone all week. Moved from the West Coast to the East Coast.
His brain was whitewashed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think about it, man. Like, I'm from Trinidad. I'm not gonna sound like it, but I'm a Trinidadian living the American experience, and we deal with racism down there in Trinidad, but it's mainly against people that look like Amir Khan. You know what I'm saying? Like Indians. We have a nickname for them, but I'm not gonna use that on this call, right? So
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was interesting that whenever it was brought up about Barry and Eddie, people was like, you know, it's Eddie running the company. No, what they say, black men, we suffer from the sins from our forefathers, so we get looked at differently because of the way we look like. Like Deontay Wilder, the reason why Deontay Wilder is a big country cornbread fed nigga the way he is because of selective breed. That's the reason why you got all these huge. He's a
foundational. He's a foundational Black American, like I try to tell y'all.
And it's like the thing is, yo, bro, a lot of like people will hear me say I'm from Trinidad and think, oh, I don't have any kind of American roots. Nah, man, I trace my shit back. My people were kidnapped from Africa, brought to Mississippi. They fought, they broke free, and they moved their ass to the Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? So I got a different view on a whole lot of this shit. But one thing I will say, right, that a lot of my fellow Black Americans don't know. If you think that
what you say, brother? We ain't catch that.
Not it bad here in America.
Would you say we ain't catch that last part?
I think you went out, man. Oh my bad. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We hear you. Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. So the Palestinians got it real fucked up, bro. And a lot of us don't know about it. And I work with some of them, man. And these people living in an open world prison, bro. They can't do shit. They get the internet cut off, and they dropping bombs on them people, bro. And they cannot escape. Anytime you hear them talking about, oh, they fired rockets from Gaza, bro. No, man. A lot of times it's like the people that was in Kenosha, bro. You had a white supremacist oath keeper that busted up the fucking police station and then caused all that chaos, and then they look at the black people like they did it wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole lot of throwing rocks and hiding your hands type shit. Now, I done chopped up with Turner Pike a lot of times, fam, and honestly, he doesn't like Fury. Like, I've heard him say it multiple times on multiple spaces, fam. He doesn't like Fury. He brings up the quote-unquote tainted boar meat. Motherfuckers are cokeheads. I mean, people know this shit, right?
But what makes them say, you know, even though I hate Fury, I don't like Fury, there's no way he could have cheated. So that makes me think when you say stuff like that, when you say stuff like that, that makes me being who I am, that makes me think, oh man, you're definitely doing this on some race shit.
You are right about that. That's my problem with it too, Art, man, is that I love boxing. And so when I'm looking at this, and I remember when they first said something about the gloves, I didn't pay attention to it. I said, hey, man, Deontay just got to come back, work hard, learn how to set up the right hand better, and just get better. But then when I started seeing the pictures, and then they verified that the pictures were legit, I'm showing it to my buddies. They like, yes, there's something obviously there. So if you look at what would they do? What would they do? They would take those. They would say, "Hey, go get the gloves, bring the gloves in, and let us inspect the gloves." Boxing did not do that at all. And that would have shut everybody up. They worried about people saying something about conspiracy. Go get the damn gloves. They had, what's the trainer name?
Hey, the D-Hide, you're fucking right, man. You're fucking right. He says, I don't even like Fury is a lie. It's like when someone says something racist and says, I'm black too online with no photo. That's a fucking fact. And that's why I be like, bro, that's why I have to tell him just now. I'm like, man, I don't believe that stuff. Because when you start saying, oh, I don't like Fury and this and that, I'm still, bro, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop assuming that you're a fucking racist. No, hell no. Because I see your racist ways. You're basically saying, even though I know Tyson Fury is a piece of shit, well, he's still white and you're black, so I'm riding with Tyson Fury. Fuck it. That's what I'm hearing. So if you're saying so much you're not a Fury fan, then you should be looking at us like, oh, okay, then I'm riding with y'all because fuck Fury. Come on, man.
But guess what? We'll never know because it's too hard for the WBC or any kind of boxing commission to go get the gloves and say, hey, we're going to show them on camera that these are good, legit gloves, that nothing was wrong with them, that this is how they're made. They wouldn't even do that. They just dismissed it. And when you dismiss something like that, I don't even do the conspiracies. But that makes me suspicious in itself.
That makes
when you don't do shit. When you just say, oh, just shut up. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it.
That's true.
How many fighters have found issues with gloves and wraps over the last like 6 or 7 months?
Several.
2 or 3 fighters?
No, like 5. Shit.
Something crazy.
And I was there. I was there at the fight. The fucking Maestro versus what's his name? Michael Fox. I was there, man. I seen that shit. And I'm like, dude, if they can do that shit on a smaller scale, they can definitely do that shit on a bigger scale, man. And I always tell people this, man. I said the biggest difference between the Billy Collins fight and Wilder versus Fury is immediately after that fight, they did an investigation. With Wilder versus Fury 3, they said, 2, they said, fuck that investigation. And anybody who thinks something wrong with it is stupid. That's what Andre Ward say. That's a red flag right there. That's definitely a red flag for me.
Yep.
But go on.
At the end of the day, Art, and this is for everybody in here, Wilder has to go out and whoop his ass. Like I mean, yeah, I wish they would have done something. I wish they would have done more because it would make the sport more legit. It just shows us this sport is just a creepy, like fucking unorganized, non-commissioned sport. Even with the Dillian White thing, where he was able to fight the next day after knowing he failed the drug test. And yeah, I get it. They wanted to test the B sample. But that fight should have been postponed until they figured out what was in that B sample. That fight shouldn't have gone on, but that's what boxing is. It's still corrupt. There's still shit going on, and they're not doing anything to fix it. That's what they're showing us now. So.
And I always tell boxing fans, right? Because for some odd reason, they're under the impression that cheating just somehow disappeared. I always ask them, can you point to the time where there's this big announcement that cheating in boxing is just completely over with and they're all out of here? And because of this bill, there's no more cheating. You can't point that out. So one would assume that this stuff still goes on. People it's like this, man. These people, they're rather believe a sweet lie than the hard truth, man. That's a damn fact, man. Because they don't. My thing is, when people know there's a problem, you have to fix it. So what these people do is try to ignore this problem so they can just continue and act like this stuff don't exist and boxing is just the way it is.
That's American day to day.
Yeah.
That's American day to day.
Because go ahead.
Think about it. America has been telling us to stop playing the victim, stop crying. There's nothing going on. You guys just have to follow the laws. And when the George Floyd thing happened, they said, "Oh, we want to listen now. We want to open up our ears." And I guess it would take something like that. I guess if a fighter get killed in the ring, and we know for sure that the other fighter cheated, then they will take it to the next level. And it'll have to. It's just like I'm in the railroad industry, and all of our rules are written in blood. When something happened, we go and do investigations, figure out what happened. We put a rule in place to prevent it from happening again. And that's what's going to happen with boxing. Somebody's going to die in the ring, and then they're going to know for sure that the other guy cheated, and then they just try to do something at that point.
I mean, you guys all forget. Which I mean, as Americans as well, I think you guys forget. Like, even though I think Tyson Fury, inverted commas, beat Wilder, you guys do forget, like, Tyson Fury has a history of cheating. He was caught with PEDs, so, like, the man obviously isn't not to be trusted. So we all know that for a fact. I mean, like, he's taking PEDs, so we know he's quite dodgy. So,
but you know what's so crazy to me? Hold on. You know what's so crazy to me that I kill all that is that you guys can look at Deontay's Wilder face right now, and either if you think it's on the top of his head, the side of his head, you can see that there's an abnormal injury on his face that we all know as boxing fans don't come from boxing gloves, right? That alone should let you know that, hey, man, something underhand was definitely happening. I mean, isn't that true? Can't you guys see that on his face? Whether if you agree it's on the side of his face, bottom of the face, it's still there.
Yeah.
It's there.
I don't know if you guys want to look up as well. In 2015, I can't remember who he fought, but he had illegal tape on his left glove, I think it was. He had to get it removed. This was, I don't know, Google it, but yeah, he had some sort of illegal tape on his. It was removed before the fight, but he's been very dodgy. So,
all right, let's. I agree with you, Art, man. Everything you guys said was perfect. What's the next topic, man?
The next topic is, how the hell do y'all feel about Saturday? Don't it seem like, man, it was such a long time coming, but we're finally here?
Yeah, man, for sure.
I know y'all just want to get this over with, right, huh?
Yeah, man, I'm definitely excited. I don't really know, man. I think Wilder definitely could pull something out of the back. He looks bigger. He definitely looks a lot bigger. But it's all about mental for him, man. It's all about the mental game now, because I think for his coach, his manager, or Mark throwing in the towel could have dented his confidence a little bit. Do you mean so?
It's all about it's about a way to see with me, because even though I see everything Deontay is doing, I still think Fury is a really, really good boxer, man. Great boxer, man. He's a great boxer. You don't know how he's going to come out. I can remember 3 years ago telling somebody, they said, "Do you think it'd be Wilder?" I said, "No." I always felt like AJ was tailor made for Wilder. After seeing a couple of guys who were non-punchers kind of hurt him and stun him, I kind of felt like he was kind of stiff and robotic, and I figured Wilder would catch him at some point and put him down. So I kind of felt like he was tailor-made for Wilder. But I always said if Tyson Fury ever came back with his height and his size and ability to box the way he do, he would be Wilder's toughest opponent. And I think if Wilder could get past him, the rest of his career would be downhill from there. He would be able to pretty much whoop anybody else he stepped in the ring with if he want to fight 3 or 4 more times and then call it a career or whatever. But Fury it's a wild card Saturday. I don't know, man. Check
this out. Check this out. I respect your opinion, PFR. I respect your opinion for sure. But you know what it is, man? I honestly believe that y'all look at this fight through the lens of this is February 2020 or this is December 2018. This is a completely different fight. So much have happened since Wilder versus Fury 2, man. You guys got to put everything in perspective. You got to put in the inactivity. You got to put in the fact that Tyson Fury mentally does not want this fight. And that's just not my opinion. It is documented that he does not want this fight. He paid money out of his pocket saying he don't want this fight. Can you guys hear me? Somebody just called me. Hold on. Oh, okay. Let me go off. I ain't finished. One second. Let me go. I ain't finished yet. Somebody called me. I thought you guys couldn't hear me. But anyways, you guys are looking at the lens of this is still the past fight or the fight before that. You got to put things in perspective. This guy's been inactive. This guy been drinking. We seen footage of that shit. The guy does not want the fight. He's mentally checked out. You know he don't want the fight. It's documented that he don't want this fight. And I don't understand where you guys are getting this Wilder's mentality. Wilder, is he mentally? Dude, I don't know. If you guys not convinced by now, I don't know what it is, man. Wilder is not some sucker who's putting on a front like, oh, man, I really want this fight. No, Wilder really wants this fight, dude. I'm telling you, man. It's October. He got that Nat Turner fucking spirit. He about to kill Fury, man. And I honestly believe that. Watch. Y'all gonna see. And like I'm telling y'all now, y'all whole perception, all the conversation y'all having about Wilder now, that shit's gonna be totally different after Saturday. Y'all gonna be talking about how Wilder can do this and he can do that. But we'll see. We'll see on Saturday. I just want y'all to see that.
I agree with everything you said, Art, man, about Wilder. But I'm just one of those type. I played ball my whole life. I'm one of those types where I don't count out anybody. I take every opponent. I'm like I like Floyd Mayweather ideology.
You can't count them out, but you also got to keep that in mind. Like, yo, let's be real, because if we analyzing this, because boxing is about time. Look, it's like this. Boxing, Tyson Fury is a good boxer, right? I'm not denying that, but you gotta throw in the timing. Boxing is about timing as well, dude. You can't say, oh, this is not no video game where the fighter's going to come in with the same stats and attributes as the last fight or the last match. Nah, it's different. It's different, man. Look at Tyson Fury. Listen to what he's saying. Even though he's contradicting, look at the words or the things that he's constantly saying. It's not just, oh, man, Tyson Fury is going to go in there and do the same thing. You got to look. This is a whole different Tyson Fury. This is a Tyson Fury that knows if he don't show up, he got to pay $80 million. This is a Tyson Fury that know, regardless if he wins this fight or loses this fight, he's still in the red with Bob Arum. You know what I'm saying? That boxing is about timing as well, dude. This is not the same guy. This is not, like I said, this ain't no video game. This is not the same guy that's going to show up. He's going to show up very different, man. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Tyson Fury comes in here looking like the same Tyson Fury who fought Safiri. Real basic, real regular, and Wilder's more improved, and he's ready for combat. I'm telling you, it's going to be deadly, man. It's going to be deadly.
I get you, man. Trust me, I hope you're 100% correct, because I'm going to win a lot of money that I already put down.
Man, I'm telling you, listen, check this out before I'm going to let you speak. But, nigga, bet on Wilder, and when you win, go to artmanapparel.com and you better splurge, because Artman told you, man. And your gut is telling you to bet on Wilder too, man.
But if we do win, I'll go. That's my word to you. I'll go buy something from your site.
Hell yeah. Go splurge on that motherfucker, man. Treat that shit like it's Gucci.
But I would like to hear some of the UK guys. How do y'all see the fight pan it out? Because we can't just beat Wilder's side. What do y'all think Fury's going to do this time versus what he did and didn't do in the first and well, he did everything in the second fight. But what do you think he'll do different this time to kind of throw Wilder off? Because I feel like it was an element of surprise that caught Wilder in the second fight. Wilder thought he was going to be backing up as he did in the first fight, and he came forward and put his weight on him. Do y'all feel like he's going to do the same thing in this fight? Just from some of my UK guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Definitely, man. Sorry, Ryan, go on.
You do need that same thing again, dude. I don't know. I think it'll work again. To be honest, I don't think. I think he'll come in actually slightly heavier than even last time, and he'll just do the same thing again.
Yeah, and I believe. Also, another thing is with UK boxing, even the grassroots boxing. I'm amateur boxing myself. UK boxing is quite fast, upbeat in tempo. I think it's really weird. American boxers tend to be a little bit more technical and they take more time. Even the amateur fighters, they take more time. They use Philly shell. They sort of they can stand flat-footed and fight.
and trade, whereas UK boxing is sort of in and out, bounce, and loads of punches and bunches, and loads of feints. I think he's going to do the exact same thing and literally try and run him over. It's whether Wilder or not can hold his bottle and not react to the feints, because when you react to the feints and things like that, and Fury gets into a rhythm of things, I think it can cause a lot of problems. So,
boxing, dude, boxing. Let me ask you a question.
That actually be effective with the body shots that he was working on all camp. Do you think that would actually be effective with Fury with all the weight on and everything?
Well, yeah, definitely. I think the way to slow any fighter down is to touch the body. Do you mean? So if he can get to the body, definitely, because the body doesn't really move as much as the head. So if he can get to the body really early on, establish himself, then that's all he can do. Because I think out of every single heavyweight there is, whether or not Fury takes PEDs, let's not deny it, Fury has an amazing engine. Do you know what I'm saying? So he works throughout the whole 11 rounds. Heavyweights tend to take their time. Do you mean? And that was the thing with Joshua and Usyk. You saw the difference in engine. He was able to work from round 1 to 12, and he constantly went on and on and on and on and on. And he was able to conserve his energy throughout the fight and still fight whenever he could. So I think Wilder definitely needs to work on the body and break it down. Sorry, oh man, go on.
Let me ask you, boxing Brenda. Is it boxing Brendan? Brenda? Bender. Boxing Bender. In the last 20 months, what have you seen in Tyson Fury that makes you believe that he's going to win this fight? And I'm not talking about the old fight, the first 2 fights. What are you seeing now in the last 20 months?
Well, yeah, I mean, I went to school with someone who's a pro boxer, who's a sparring partner right now.
Mm-hmm.
His name is David Adelaide, so he's assigned to Frank Warren. And from what I've seen on his Snapchat, he looks very sharp. Do you mean he looks very sharp? I haven't seen anything different. I think he's going to go in with the same tactic. Do you mean if it works, don't change it. So I think he's definitely going to run him over and try and bully him. I think Wilder knows that's the case. So we just have to wait and see whether Wilder, I don't know, decides to move a little bit more or plant his feet from the off.
I want Turning Point to answer that question too. No, I want you to answer that question too, Turning Point.
What's the question?
What do you see in the last, I'm just saying 20, but it could be like 15 months. In the last 15 months, what have you seen from Tyson Fury that makes you believe he's going to win this fight?
Well, I suppose this is where it plays into my attitude towards fighting camps. So, Tyson recently said that he's feeling tired and his body's a bit worn. Does anyone else know
Yep.
that?
I've seen that. I've seen that statement. I think I posted it. No, matter of fact, it's right here.
Yeah. What? Throw it up there. What do you think of that?
You asking me
You
that?
can't believe anything, Fury. You can't believe anything that comes out Fury's mouth. That's what I think.
My thing is, it's like this. You know, I don't know if you guys ever dealt with any dope fiends. Look, hey guys, hold on. I don't know if you guys ever dealt with any dope fiends, but they're really fidgety, and sometimes they lie, sometimes they tell the truth. I don't know I don't know how you guys were raised, but sometimes you gotta let a motherfucker talk a lot. And when they start talking a lot, eventually they'll start telling the truth. You gotta catch certain things that Tyson Fury said. Notice if he's constantly saying it over and over, but in different ways, maybe he can be telling the truth about that. Because this is not the first time he said he's
that his body's feeling tired and all that. Do you think he's lying?
When it comes to feeling tired, I feel like he's mentally checked out, man. He doesn't want this fight, dude.
That statement about like.
Yeah, I'm going off that statement. I feel like he's not ready, man. And he's been getting beat up on in sparring, dude. He even admitted, dude, in the fucking text. He's been getting beat up on in sparring, dude. Tyson Fury is not feeling like the only one right now. The only one, Tyson Fury. He ain't feeling like that right now.
Is this the Jared Anderson knockout text?
Man, I honestly believe, based off of documentation, Tyson Fury does not want this fight.
No, I mean,
Can I just say, right?
Tyson Fury's mental state. Just hold up one second, Patrick. So, right, we haven't checked out, right? He's tired, his body's fucked, and he got knocked out. you believe all that's true, right? That's come from.
Yeah, no, not based off of my sources. You know, remember who I talked to, but based off my sources, man, that shit's true, man.
Right. So quick question, right?
Go ahead.
Is Tyson Fury a reliable person?
Is he a reliable person? No.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you think that when Tyson Fury says that his camp has been shit, do you think that's a reliable fact?
That goes back into what I said, man. I don't know if you guys ever dealt with dope fiends and shit like that, but you gotta learn how to distinguish lies and someone telling the truth.
Does a dope fiend who is a professional boxer accidentally reveal very serious information about his camp in an interview?
Yeah, and you know, I love this conversation. You know, I love this conversation because I know where it's going. Because you guys, I know where it's going. It's gonna go into that. Oh well, Tyson Fury's just playing mind games. Well, you got to understand what type of mind game would it be to give your opponent that information, and your opponent is already training to kill you no matter what. That's not gonna make Wilder slow down and want to ease up. I don't know. I don't get where you guys are coming from when you say that. Wilder's not gonna slow down because of that information.
The information might not be true. That's the point. Tyson Fury.
What does he gain? Okay, what does he gain from lying like that? What does he gain from lying like that? What does he gain?
Because he's distracting his opponent. So
and I'm trying to tell you, Wilder don't give a fuck. He's ready. He wants to kill Fury regardless if he's playing or not.
Let's say you and me were fighting, right? Let's say you and me were fighting.
Go ahead.
And I revealed tomorrow morning that my right shoulder is fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
That my right shoulder is killing me. You might not believe me, but do you think I'd reveal that if that was true? If my shoulder was actually sore, would I tell you that?
If I'm gonna keep it 100, speaking as art man, if you asking me or you told, or if I heard that information about you and you said that, that will make me even more ready to kick your ass. Cause I would think, oh man, his arm fucked up. Well, shit, I'm not holding back. I'm coming in at 110%, and I'm gonna make this shit even easier. That's the type of mentality I have. And like I said, that separates the foundational Black American from a UK British tea fan. Come on, man.
Say, for example, Wilder does beat Fury, right? What the narrative is here and what's being stated is effectively that Fury psychologically is fucked, isn't ready for the fight, hasn't been training and things like that. Hasn't been training sufficiently, and has had a bad camp. If Wilder was wait, hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what they're doing is they're laying track work for the excuses to come.
I didn't finish my point. That's the narrative that a lot of Wilder fans, including Artman himself, is pushing. So I asked this to Artman himself. If Wilder does pull this off, how much credit does he actually deserve for beating this level?
A lot.
All the credit.
All the credit. Because we sat there and watched Usyk beat up AJ, but prior to that, they had Tyson Fury as the number one fighter. So by default, and based off of y'all logic, he has to be upward to fucking number one.
Well, I'm not asking for you. I'm asking for your logic. I'm not asking for.
Okay, well, that's my logic. When Wilder killed Tyson Fury, it's going to be even bigger because media sat there and told the world that this guy Tyson Fury is some fucking Terrence Crawford of the heavyweight division. That's what they literally said.
Well, you clearly don't think Terrence Crawford is the heavyweight division.
No, that's what ESPN told me and told the world. So when Wilder knocks out the Terrence Crawford of the heavyweight division, he's gonna be the fucking man.
Is purposely trying to amp up Tyson Fury and put down guys like Wilder. Why should I believe him? Aren't you one of the biggest proponents against him?
What? Repeat what you just said. I didn't catch that.
You're one of the biggest proponents against the media, and you're one of the biggest proponents of that the media is effectively has an agenda against Wilder and is effectively trying to push Tyson Fury and guys like that down our throats, and that their validity is effectively bullshit. But you're using their logic. And
I still rate Tyson Fury personally. I think Tyson Fury's better than AJ and a lot of them dudes. I still rate him. So if you want to ask me where I rate him, yeah, I agree. He's number one. He is number one. Straight up. Can't wait. Can't wait. Can't wait. Yeah, go ahead. He's number one.
Turning point and another UK guy. This question's for the UK because I want to hear
I'm not another UK guy. I'm from Ireland.
Okay, Ireland.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so Tyson, I was rewatching the fight a couple of days ago, and I noticed in the first round after watching like episode 1 of Inside Fury Wilder, I noticed Wilder landed a couple of right hands that I didn't see live because I was so distracted about how the fight was going, and I was like disappointed in the fight. Wilder landed a couple of right hands, but Fury was able to roll with those right hands and not get knocked out. Even though after the fight, Fury said, even though he rolled with him, they still affected him. They still was hard as hell. They still damn near blacked him out. What do you think Wilder can do in this next fight to set up that right hand to land it flush without Fury catching it and being able to roll with it? What do you guys think about it?
Very, very simple. When Fury advances, he needs to hold his feet. If he doesn't hold his feet, he picks him up again, he loses.
Yeah, a lot of these dudes are anti-Wilder on the low. That shit's just crazy to me, man. You notice, I don't know how long y'all been listening, but you notice that I'm telling them, I'm saying in the last 20 months, 15 months, what are you seeing from Tyson Fury that's showing you that he's gonna win this fight? And they can't really answer that shit. They're like, oh man, he's able to do this. And nah, dude, let's be real. In the last 20 months, 15 months, you've seen a fucking scumbag. A guy who ain't been training, a guy been drinking with AB, a guy going to the beach looking fat as hell, telling ESPN the whole world he ain't training. He's been telling people for a while he's not training. And people saying, oh, how can you believe him? How can you believe him? Well, if the motherfucker said it so many fucking times, you got to at least take it into consideration. I mean, because he said it several times in different ways. Got to understand, man. And they're saying, oh, it's mind games. It's mind games. Mind games for who? For who? Because now that makes Wilder want to go even 100 more percent, because that means this guy's going to be easier, right? Or he's going to make it easier. But, it is what it is. Let's keep on listening to these guys, man. We just in here cooking, man.
If you're a bet person, bet that Wilder's going to get dropped and win. I think you might get 12 to 14 to 15 odds on that, and that's a pretty sweet odds. But if you're like Artman, who thinks that Wilder's going to win and Wilder's going to get the KO, you have 3 to 1. And I know, Artman, you were saying you were going to drop bombs on the odds here. Man, if you put down 2K on 3 to 1 odds, that's significant. And you have to remember, Artman, just very quickly, me and Nadeem, we love our odds. I put money on both sides if I find value. It's not really about
you hear this shit. You hear this shit, y'all? Now they trying to switch it up. Oh, I'm putting money on both sides. These niggas are fucking full of shit, boy. I tell you.
So I think for you should definitely bet bank on 3 to 1.
Check this out, man. You don't, man. What? Come on, bro. I've been doing this for how long? You don't have to tell me what I should bet on. For those who are listening, for those who are in the group listening, hold on. Before those who are in the group listening, bet on Wilder to knock Tyson Fury out. I'm telling y'all. Go look at my track record. Artman was right.
That's what he just said.
Go bet on Wilder, and when you bet on Wilder and win big, double back and go to artmanapparel.com and buy some of the Flies merch. Straight up.
You know what? I'm not going to bet on Wilder 3 to 1. The odds aren't good enough for me. You're convinced. Trust me, there's no issue here. You're convinced 3 to 1 is great odds for a knockout for Wilder. And trust me, I'm not being subversive here. I'm not trying to fuck you around. If I was as confident as you are that Wilder's going to win by KO, 3-1 is great odds. Seriously, Artman, I'm not trying to fuck you here. They're really good odds.
Dude, man, you don't have to tell. Bro, do you know who I am, man? You know who I am. You don't have to tell me this shit, man. I know.
But are you gonna go for the? Are you gonna go for those odds?
Why do you think I'm going to Vegas, man, and not watching it from the crib? I can't bet money. I can't bet money here in Minnesota. I'm going straight to the source.
Oh, can you not bet in Minnesota?
Yeah, it's illegal here in Minnesota. But yeah, I'm going, man. I'm gonna have a good time, man. And I love it because, dude, I honestly believe the odds are like this for a reason, man. A lot of people are gonna cash out. A lot of people who are even Tyson Fury fans. I know you're saying, oh, you don't believe in this and that, and you're gonna roll it with both. And bro, trust and believe that there's people that's been saying Wilder's gonna lose, that's putting several thousands on Wilder to win. I'll tell you that right now.
Wait, when you say you can't bet in Minnesota, what's that mean?
It's for some reason you can't bet here in Minnesota. You can, betting is legal and illegal in certain states. It's real weird.
State, like every states have their own betting rules. So, for example, New York, we can't bet here either. Like, there's certain things that we can bet on, there's certain things you can't. So, you know, some of these apps that you bet on, you can't do it in New York. So you have to actually, like, physically drive to, like, New Jersey, which is a state over, and place a bet, and then come back. So it's kind of stupid, but yeah, it's ridiculous.
Man,
certain states just won't allow it.
I have so much more sympathy for you guys. That's fucking ridiculous.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. Like if I want to bet money on this fight, I gotta either hit somebody up from another state or through a bookie, or like you can't even do it. It's crazy.
If you want to know something real crazy, go look up one of the reasons Jack Johnson was locked up. You'll be like, yo, what? Go look it up.
Man, Arvin, you and me don't get along. I would fucking drive you to another state to put that bet on. That's how much I believe in fucking putting your money where your mouth is.
I got a plane ticket with my name on it, yo. Vegas, baby. Vegas is who all is going to the fight? I feel like I'm the only one in the fucking boxing Twitter going to this damn fight.
Yeah, we have a fight party.
Everybody having fight parties and shit.
I was gonna go down. I'm gonna be driving. I'll be flying out to Phoenix on the 7th, and I was thinking about taking a 3-hour drive to Vegas, 3-4-hour drive to Vegas just to see the fight. But fuck it, I'm just gonna watch it from the hotel room, just order it on my laptop, and do it like that.
See, if I had to go, I'd have to bring my kids with me. And yeah, I'm not bringing the 2 little niggas with me, man. So
man, I'm just glad. I'm fortunate, dude. Shout out to all my supporters, man, who bought Artman apparel, because y'all really pay for my tickets, man. Real shit.
Wilder and 7.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm feeling good.
I got Wilder in 8.
I got Wilder in 3.
I got Wilder in 3, just like my boy Ari. Wilder in fucking 3, yo.
Can Wilder win a decision if it goes to that point?
Yes.
If he dropped Fear a few times, why not?
Yeah.
I believe he can.
He can. How did he win his title? How did Wilder win his title?
Remember, he dropped Fury a few times in the first fight and ended in the draw. So the drops don't mean nothing apparently.
You don't win an Olympic medal if you can't box.
What's your direct prediction?
It's either gonna play out like Joe Louis versus Max Mellon 2, or it's gonna go to the 3rd round and he gonna knock him out, dude.
Give me rounds.
Look, it's like this. It's like this, dude. It's like this, man. Y'all think
that you don't win an Olympic medal by not knowing how to box, and that's another form of institutional racism, by the way, man. I just thought I'd put it out there because I think with Wilder, he doesn't get enough. Do you know, with black athletes in general who are athletic, they don't get enough credit. I mean, we're always stuck in a box of just we're strong and powerful. When it takes a lot of technical ability, you know what I'm saying, to do what he did against Ortiz, to turn it around. A lot of ring generalship. So it gets real.
Just look how he knocked down Ortiz.
Deontay Wilder beat out to get into the Olympics was my cousin's sparring partner, bro. I talked to this man the other day. One thing about Deontay, the shit that drove him the most while he was in the Olympics was people telling him that he couldn't do something. I told a couple of people on this in this space that the other day, whenever you tell him he can't do something, he's gonna be hell bent on proving you wrong, man. And that's exactly what's driving him.
Yeah, that's like I
Yeah.
said.
Mm-hmm.
You see it, especially in England, even with Serena Williams. I mean, with Serena Williams, they do the same thing. Like, at one point, they were saying sort of stuff like, "Oh, she's just extremely strong, athletic," but it takes a lot of technical ability to win titles. You know what I'm saying, to be elite, to be on that level. So
You want to know? I'll tell you one scenario that people sleep on with Wilder. If you remember in the Luis Ortiz fight one, Wilder had been hurt in the round, and he was trying to get himself back together. He's been around, like pretty much running and grabbing. But in the next round, when he knocked Luis Ortiz out, he hurt him. If they say he can't fight off his back foot, he was going back. And if you watch that round close, he caught Luis Ortiz with a counter right hook coming up the rope as he was going back. And that's Ortiz.
And that's what hurt Ortiz. Yep.
It wasn't the right hand. Yeah, he caught him going backwards as Ortiz was putting on the pressure, and he caught him with a beautiful right cross, moving back towards the rope. So Wilder doesn't get a lot of credit for things that he do. The way he set up punches, the way he knocked people out. Wilder's problem is when he get people hurt, he just go fucking wild. He just go haywire.
But you know, that's something that's good as well, because look how fast Wilder is, man. Dude, man, I remember watching the Daniel Dubois versus Joe Joyce fight, dude, and I was watching that shit live on something, and there was a whole bunch of people in the UK commenting. Man, they're admitting like, dude, Wilder will knock both of these guys the fuck out because they're slow as shit. Wilder's a really fast heavyweight, man. People don't take that into consideration. They really don't. He's fast with power. That's freakish at fucking heavyweight, man. To be fast and powerful.
I've been hearing a lot of this out of Fury in interviews and comments. He seems to be clearly, which did 2 knockdowns, and then he was inactive for the first 4 rounds. He didn't win it clearly, but people blew his hand up as if he did. Then in the second fight, he won it the way he wanted. How much of his overconfidence do you think will impact the fight and have Wilder to knock him out early? Because he's going to come in as if this guy can't beat me. I pretty much beat him. 90% of the rounds we've been in the ring together. How much of impact do you think that will have?
In Fury eyes,
Go ahead.
Turn the point.
Big zero. Go ahead.
Well, in Fury eyes, he won twice. He know the first fight was a draw, but in his mind, he won that first fight because he came back and kind of did what nobody else could, and that was go the distance with Wilder. Not only go the distance with Wilder, but take Wilder to a draw. So in his mind, he won the first fight. And maybe he went back, watched film, and the second fight, okay, I can do what I want to do with Wilder. That's why he said his game plan, again, according to him, he could be lying, like we say, his plan is to come into this fight 270 plus pounds or bigger so he can take the punches from Wilder and so he can get up on Wilder. That's what he's saying.
Mm-hmm. And look.
So you don't think his overconfidence will have an impact?
I think it,
yeah.
So what about? Let me ask y'all.
Fury a tricky dude. Fury a tricky dude. I don't care what he say. I think he's training. I think he had an 8-week camp, and I think he trained hard. I don't believe nothing that he say about having a terrible camp and about not really training. The dude trained for this fight because he knows what's at stake. So he already do.
Man, yeah, I feel like
I ain't mean to cut you off, bro.
Bart, Big Zero, I think like as boxing fans, we want to believe that hey man, this guy, he's ready. He ain't no bullshit. He's just bullshitting. Nah, I honestly believe it's that dude. Y'all seen a movie like Mike? You know that last final game he had to play without his special ability? That's why I feel like Tyson Fury is going to come into this fight, man. I honestly don't believe Tyson Fury is going to go in there fast, strong, big, none of that. He's going to come in there big because he out of shape, dude. What I honestly believe, Tyson Fury is going to go in there like the Tyson Fury who fought Safiri against a new and improved Wilder, man.
People are forgetting his daughter been sick, man.
Yeah.
His head probably ain't in the game.
His head not in the game, dude. And he gotta pay Wilder's lawyers, bro. That shit would affect you mentally, bro. And they know it. That's why they keep on mentioning it.
I'm not buying all that. Art-Man.
Yeah.
Art-Man. I'm not buying into all of that because, in my opinion, the way he beat Wilder the last fight, I don't want to hear any excuses because what's gonna happen is they're putting out this information out there so that it could be like, oh, he wasn't ready or this and that. I don't want to hear any of those excuses. So, if Wilder loses again, they're not gonna want to hear excuses. So if Fury gets knocked out, when he gets knocked out, I
don't want to hear excuses. Yep, that's true. I trust me. I understand that mindset most definitely.
Do you mind if we kind of switch subjects for 1 second and you can take it back to Wilder and Fury? Because I'm about to dump off here in about 15-20 minutes. I want to get everybody's opinion on the Canelo Plant fight. Who do you guys think can win? And do you think Plant has a chance in this fight? Anybody that has information that want to ask him?
I think Plant has a good style for it, but honestly, Canelo's already looking past Plant and is trying to call out Jamal for a fight at 168.
I think that we were talking about it earlier on Lefty's space. I think Plant has the hand speed and the foot movement to make it interesting for the first 5 to 6 rounds. But then after that, I think Canelo will take over and just take over and dominate. I feel like I said, he does have the hand speed and the height and the foot speed to be able to move on Canelo. But I feel like once Canelo, gets to the body, has him working, has him thinking, and I think he's going to come a point where the body shots are going to get to Plant. He's going to slow down a lot. And by that time, Canelo's just going to be on his ass.
Plant's definitely, I think, too small, I think, as well. I think he's naturally quite a skinny guy. And Canelo, whatever he's been eating or whatever he's on at the moment, I think he's definitely got an advantage. I think after round 6 or 7, the tables will turn and Canelo's obviously going to plant his feet and literally just hammer him. So I reckon he stops him. I reckon he's not going to go the distance. I reckon he stops him. I think the only person who gives Canelo problems is Benavidez.
What about the Plant? What if the Plant showed up against Mustafi? What if that Plant showed up?
Sorry, I didn't hear that last bit. What if
the Caleb Plant showed up against Mustafi? Is that it, Ryan? Mustafi or whatever?
Yeah, Mustafi, yeah.
I get what you're saying. I think pro boxing is a marathon. It isn't a sprint, man. And I think if it was 5 rounds, Plant maybe, because he can box, he can move, but after a while, you can't train for the amount of body shots you're about to take. I think Canelo's power is unreal at the moment, I think, and you can see it with every fight. I mean, he breaks fights down. And by the way, I still don't think he beats Mayweather, but to me right now, I think everybody else out there, I think he does beat bar Benavidez. But yeah, man, I think Canelo's power is just a bit too much. It doesn't matter who he's facing. So 12 rounds is a long time to fight someone.
I think Plant's going to be on his bike. He's going to hit him and he's going to move. He's about 4 or 5 inches taller than Canelo. So I think he can actually stay away from him enough. And I've seen Caleb Plant not often, but sometimes punch with power. So I think if he could somehow stun Canelo to keep him on his toes and keep him away from him, from just walking him down, I can see Caleb Plant winning that fight. Now I would put my house on Canelo, but I can see a route for for Plant to win that fight. But it seemed like nobody else could see it but me.
Well, the thing is, you gotta remember that Plant also gets tired after 7-8 rounds.
He does.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, fighting somebody like Canelo who's gonna be on you from the beginning of the fight, you're gonna have to be on your A game, right? Because you know that he has that type of power that with one punch he could hurt you and get you out of there. So, I feel like the fact that you have to be on your A game at all times, and the way Canelo moves, I think he has gotten better at cutting off the ring, and his jab. A lot of people be sleeping on Canelo's jab. I know that Plant's taller, he got the good jab, but like if you notice, a lot of times Canelo will make you miss. You throw the jab at him, he'll make you miss, and then he'll catch you with the jab. So I think the mental pressure of being on your A game at all times, it's gonna get to it, and experience as well. We know Plant doesn't have the experience.
Yeah, with fighters who have a lot of power, even with Wilder, really, man, and Canelo, they're very similar. If Wilder's able to hold a high guard like Canelo does, and just stalk Fury the same way Canelo does, and stalk and literally roll with the punches, it takes a lot of ring IQ to do that, but to do that for 12 rounds, there is no way you're not going to get caught flush. And when you get caught flush, I think it's night-night, So I think Canelo definitely is going to stop Caleb for sure. Even though I'm a big fan of Plant.
Have any of you guys on the same Plant hurt in the fight?
No. No, he hasn't faced someone like he faced someone like Canelo. I think one of the Charlo brothers gives Canelo problems, I think, personally, but I think with athleticism, if you can fight intense for 12 rounds, it might make a massive difference, personally. But
I think Jermall has the power. I think Jermall has more power than Caleb Plant, so that might give Canelo more problems, but we see that Plant doesn't have the power. I don't think he has the power to keep Canelo off of him for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
He might be able to, give him fits the first 5-6 rounds, but once Canelo gets the timing down and gets into rhythm, he's just gonna walk him down.
Literally.
Yeah, that's some good feedback, man. I hear you guys. I'm trying to get their insight so I can see how the veterans fight. Because I want to go with Plant to underdog bad, but it might just be me take some money down the ground.
You can always go Plant low and Canelo high, so regardless, you still sort of win, regardless of whether you lose or not, Dewey. So
I think I'm gonna do even for the Wilder Fury fight. I'm gonna do a bet on Wilder for the knockout, but I'm also do just a bet to cover the money line. I think the money line right now is like 250. When I'm looking at it, so I'm gonna put a lot of money. I'm gonna put my largest sum on the money line. Then I'm gonna put a little bit on the knockout. So if he wins, and he wins by knockout, I get both payouts.
Yeah, definitely, that makes sense. Anyways, listen, man, I'm out, man. It's 1 o'clock in London, 1 a.m. in London. I got training tomorrow, so anyways, it was nice talking to you, though. Make sure you invite me to these ones again, man. It was good talking to you, man. Good opinions.
Is this the same one I was in earlier? Y'all ain't stuck yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just been cooking. Our man been in here cooking, man. Shit.
Yeah, I thought they had. Shit. And like I said, I'm out, man. Make sure you're shouting for the next one, man.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I gotta get out of here too. I gotta hit up my shorty. So, shout out to everybody who joined, man. Y'all some real ones. Tell that dude, tell Rob to stop being a pussy. Real shit. Nah, real shit. If he Rob Tebbutt, tell him stop being a pussy and have a tell him to have a real conversation. If he ain't a hoe, tell him to have a real conversation, because everybody's saying he cool, but if he ain't willing to speak and have a real conversation, then he just a hoe in my eyes.
Y'all just DM each other, man. I ain't nobody about to be playing motherfucking matchmaker piece.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So fuck buddy. Yeah, hell yeah. But all right, man. Shout out to everybody that joined. Artmanapparel.com, Artman Boxing, all that shit.
All right, dog.
Hell yeah. Shout out to everybody who joined this live stream. We're gonna have to cut it off, man. I'm hungry as shit. And I gotta hit up my chick. So see you guys later.